and Nathan here with me today. We're talking about the markets again, weekly summary of what's been happening. I'm apologizing already in front about the background noise. I'm in a cafe at the moment in an island. But Nathan, Andrew, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good, doing good. It's been another what should be very bullish week for crypto. If the rest of the traditional markets would comply with us and let us run, but it seems we're still being held back by some uncertainties around the war in Europe and these tariffs.
Yeah.
Tariffs is the new keyword here for sure, and Andrew is keeping it very low, low key at the moment. Short answers.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you got for us starting out, taking a look at
So
overall market conditions?
Man,
Yeah,
he's
I
so
just wanna
shocked. He
start
can't even talk.
yeah. Well, starting with equities, we had this nice sell-off. We had a really nice run for like the last 3 weeks, right? Front running a lot of these like big economic news stuff, and so we finally got through the FOMC. We're knowing that quantitative tightening is slowing down. So people are naturally just taking profits, and as you can see, we do have these little gaps on pretty much all four of the equities futures charts. So I think what's happening is we are just like slowly coming back to fill these gaps. And as we fill them, ideally what we would want to see is some consolidation, like what we're seeing kind of right now, and then form some structure and try to bounce out. So I'm going to be watching the U.S. market today because we also do have the core PCE numbers. So if that comes out good, that should give us another pump. And then hopefully these can start rallying back to the upside and then continuing on with their uptrend. But if we do lose these lows and we do keep breaking lower, then we're probably gonna have to come back lower to these tails, and then so forth. And then usually, however, like the equities do, it's gonna translate over to crypto pretty well. So if equities do well, then crypto should technically also do well. But looking on like the daily chart, like on the CME, we do have a gap left over around this 85, 84K. So I do think like prices, if the equities are getting their gap filled, then there's a pretty high chance that Bitcoin is probably going to have to do that similar move. And as you can see, it actually lines up with 38.2, which is generally where you want to see market come back and hold. And so there's some confluence right there at that level there. And then, we're just kind of like stuck in this little range, in the meantime. We break lower, then we'll probably have to come lower against these tails again. If we can break higher, then the trend should kind of continue on. But as of this moment, we're just kind of just sideways right now. And it looks like the trend is kind of breaking a little bit lower, but we're still technically in an uptrend, so based on this smaller range. But yeah, I think for now, we're just going to have to wait and see which side it's going to resolve to.
Timing wise, this seems like everything's lining up with the trade war announcement that's supposed to go into effect next week on Wednesday. Although I started hearing rumors that it might get pushed back to March or to May now. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts around timing with this market hanging on the tariff wars here? And are we going to get that decision next week, or are we going to have to wait another month?
I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously, if they extend it, it's going to be kind of bad because it just adds like prolonged uncertainty. So the market could probably just, probably sell off a bit from that kind of fear. I think it's better to just like get through it. And obviously, the market right now is kind of paused because of that. I think what's happening is like, people could be thinking of like taking off some of their risk now. Unwinding some of their positions, and that's why we're getting a bit of this like sideways sell-off. And then it's the weekend too, so they sell before the weekend, and then you're just kind of cleaning your books that way.
Yeah, I think we will definitely see the war go further. I think Europe and Canada is partnering up, and let's see. I'm hopeful that these tariffs is just going to go away, but obviously, like there's a lot of speculation that these are good in the long term for the US markets and also for crypto. But yeah, I'm very curious where this will go. I agree with Andrew. Like the more like they should just decide like is there going to be tariffs or not. If we postpone them, it's going to be uncertainty. Uncertainty never gives good liquidity. So
Agreed. Yeah, I'm starting to, more stories I'm reading, I'm starting to fear we're going to have another month of this. No real decisions from either side on these trade wars. It might get pushed back even further till May. So going to be interesting if that does happen, what the FOMC meeting next month brings us.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else in the charts of interest today? Or are we kind of stuck in another weekend of sideways and boring?
Probably just more sideways and boringness, I think. We might see some fireworks in crypto. I mean, if equities sell off again today, we'll probably see continued downward pressure, and especially because nothing else is open on the weekend. Crypto is usually where a lot of that volatility kind of sometimes come back. So
we will find out very shortly. I guess probably by the time this is published, you'll have your answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, outside of the traditional markets, kind of in a holding pattern here, this week has been another extremely bullish week on the news front for crypto. Again, we're seeing multiple stories this week that anytime throughout the previous cycle would have pumped Bitcoin 10, 20 plus % for any individual story that we're seeing here. And this week we've got about a dozen that came out. Just kind of adding to this trend of what we've been talking about the last few weeks, that while crypto, while the traditional markets are a little bit bearish and uncertain, crypto is as bullish as it's ever been. We simply just kind of need this tide to break on the traditional market side of things for crypto to absolutely start launching. Tons of stories coming out with the Trump administration this week. One of the big ones here, Trump media announcing they're going to be working with Crypto.com to offer ETFs. And these are a basket ETF, something people have been waiting for a while now. So this isn't a single asset in the crypto space. This will be more akin to like a mutual fund. What are you guys' thoughts on overall starting to see these mutual fund type of portfolio options being offered for crypto, and the White House and this administration's continued efforts to work with the big players in the U.S. like Crypto.com?
yeah, from my point, first of all, Crypto.com had a little fun earlier with their announcement of taking back what they burnt. So I don't know about that, but anyway,
the community voted for it, even though the community is mostly the team.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of like these things happening, and one of the reasons is that the crypto community itself is growing. Like when I started crypto, I was 25 or 26, even less, and now I'm 35. Like obviously, like the older you get, the less risk you want, the less more complex products you need. But yeah, I think this is maturity. We're going into a mature market. It's going to be more and more like Acquire.Fi people coming into this space, and maybe also merging with us, the degenerates. But yeah, that's my take. Anyway, Crypto.com, they had a huge pod. Maybe have had some news about that. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I always look at ETF things as kind of like sell the news event. So normally you get the hearing like, okay, they're going to launch it. So you buy the rumor the day of the actual ETFs coming live, usually a bit of a sell-off. I don't find like the ETFs being that helpful, to be honest. Price action will always do what it wants. I feel like these ETF things are more of a kind of like just like a liquidity suck. But yeah, I mean, some people might find it bullish, but we'll see. I do like the idea of like the rumor, sell the news kind of idea behind these, but yeah.
Andrew is so bearish.
No, I mean, just like ETFs never got me interested, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the most highly debated topics in the last year, as we see more of the traditional markets coming in, and rather than them adopting DeFi tools and adopting Web3 tools and principles, which is what we obviously all hope for as a best case scenario, we find now that we're building more traditional market style tools for them to come in. I'm kind of in the camp of, hey, it's at least progress in the right direction. This gives us, a step towards then being able to bring them over to whether that's DeFi or at least more Web3 native tooling. We talked a bit about this last week with some of the stories that were popping up last week. But the DeFi market certainly isn't there yet in terms of the tech to be able to onboard people. So I don't know. I at least hope to see this as a step in the right direction. Obviously, we'd rather see that money come directly into crypto, where it's not simply these TradFi platforms that are just taking the market share from crypto projects.
Yeah, it seems like people are starting to rely and depend on these guys too much. It's like I thought crypto was made to like get away from like the institutions and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Agree on that side, but hopefully, the market will continue to develop, and we'll see the native tools in Web3 at least become usable for the average person. But yeah, more news coming out of the U.S. This was a massive issue a year or so ago when they first passed it. But there's I believe it's an executive order or signing a resolution undoing the rule that requires DeFi protocols to become U.S. tax compliant, or at least report to U.S. tax authorities. This is a huge step for DeFi. Really like seeing this come up today. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that, but I think this goes a long way for enabling what we just talked about. If we're going to be able to improve DeFi tools, they got to understand they're going to be able to operate as DeFi platforms.
Definitely.
No, I think this is very good. I think, sorry about the lag again, but from my side, like we had also Tornado Cash, that is now officially like not a bad thing, and I think like if you think about Uniswap or all of these like different automatic market makers, I think this is very good. Like if there's no one managing it, come on, like why should there be any like broker licenses? Also, like if you are in Africa or in third world countries, like it's super hard to onboard to these different platforms that are tier one. Like I think this is much needed, and I think actually this is very good from Trump's side.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree with that more. I mean, you can't have DeFi if they're going to have to comply with U.S. tax regulations, which is silly that they should have to anyways. But, the whole privacy trend is really starting to make a strong comeback here, and I'm glad we're seeing the administration support that.
Yeah, man, make DeFi great again. That's what's
Absolutely.
happening. We're gonna have a DeFi summer 2.0. Let's get it.
Yeah, we need that.
I'd be down.
More MAGA news this week. There's a lot of it, man. World Liberty Finance is launching their own stablecoin, USD1. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on this, whether it's going to be a good thing or not. We're actually seeing a ton of new stablecoins starting to hit the market. That's kind of becoming its own niche trend. I've seen a lot of posts about that this week. We'll talk in a minute here about Wyoming as a state is launching their own stablecoin. I'm not sure how I feel about this, other than like it's good to see adoption and relatively bullish news, but I don't know that we need a million new stablecoins. What are your thoughts on the new World Liberty Finance stablecoin?
I think it's pretty wild. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to touch it. I think it's bad just because like it's starting to show like, okay, anyone can just make a stable coin. You can start literally printing infinite amount of money. Like you're essentially becoming a bank yourself and supplying loans and like, I don't know. It seems like it's a chaotic route, especially having Trump making his own stable coin. Like,
yeah, see the U.S. president making these deals while he's the sitting president is definitely an uncharted territory for a lot of things. Usually when they're doing this kind of stuff, they do it behind closed doors. I guess it's good to see some transparency, but I'm not sure how I feel about that either.
Yeah, I just want to hit here. Like there was a good example. Like there's every company is now launching a stablecoin, right? And sorry about the background noise again. But eventually, think about the normal user. You would go to a shop and they accept crypto, and there's like a sign that says, okay, we accept Amex USDT, we accept, I don't know, H&M USDT, we accept whatever USDT. Like this stablecoin game is starting to get like quite ridiculous. Do we actually need so many stablecoins? I don't know. Like, is this a new innovation? No, not really. I'm not really bullish on this. I think this is kind of like just trying to do the trend.
Yeah, I kind of see the same. It's good to see the narrative and the hype around crypto in general, but yeah, why does Wyoming, a state with less than there's like less than 1 million people, or there's like 1 million people in Wyoming, not necessarily the biggest GDP of any state. Why does Wyoming need their own stable coin? I'm not so sure what they're angling for with this. I think it's kind of along the lines of what you were talking about, Andrew, is people being able to be your own bank essentially, and they see this as a way to help generate some revenue potentially.
Print
So
infinite
yeah,
money.
exactly. Yeah,
Literally out of thin air. Like,
well, so I guess again, narrative-wise, good to see adoption like this. In terms of the actual positive impact it'll have on the industry, not real sure on that one. This, however, kind of ties directly in with the stable coins. This could be quite impactful for crypto overall. Recently, there's an executive order issued 2-3 days ago by the White House for the modernization of the rules around payments to and from bank accounts, requiring them to start developing digital framework and making it easier to onboard traditional bank accounts with Web3. This, I think, can have a massive impact on the markets in a positive way, allowing us to much more easily be able to onboard directly from our own bank accounts. I mean, we're probably not too far off, we see what legislation and regulation comes out of this, but being able to onboard with much more ease without needing to use a lot of these centralized entities, being able to directly send money to our MetaMask or to someone else's MetaMasks, and hopefully anonymously. I don't know if Gat's got anything to add to that, but I think being able to for the U.S. bank accounts to directly be able to interface with DeFi protocols would be absolutely fantastic.
Definitely. I mean, off-ramping is always a pain. Having it just connected directly to your bank account is a plus. Definitely a plus win. Definitely means you're going to get tracked a lot more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that there's still going to need to be some sort of settlement layer, some sort of middleman group? Do you think we start seeing the big banks, the Morgan Stanleys, the HSBCs of the world, having some sort of settlement layer, natively, where you obviously need to go from your bank to be able to come into USDT or back out? Is that something that MetaMask is going to take on, or is that something we're going to see these big traditional entities come in and try and take that side of the industry?
I think from my side, I just waited. Yeah, sorry. I just waited that there was a background noise again, but I think this is bullish. I think this is good. But then again, I'm afraid that this society or these rules are going into a central bank coin. I know that Trump has been talking about it, that he's not going to do it, and there's not going to be a central bank coin. But eventually, like, all of these digital currencies are going to be, I mean, there are already like looked after. Like, if you do any transaction on chain, we know what's happening. And having more of these banks adapt them, of course, it's bullish. And again, it's the narrative of us being more, let's say, adult, but then again, more control. So,
100%. And it kind of goes against the whole transparency side of it. Getting more centralized entities in, especially traditional banks, is going to further obscurate the ability to track transactions for the public, but not for the government. Kind of moving the power back into their hands there. So interesting stuff. Definitely, overall narrative-wise bullish, but I don't know. We'll see the long-term impact of it. Outside of that, though, talking about the overall news involving the current administration, a lot of people have been pretty bearish on what's been going on just because it suppressed the markets here. We've talked in the past about how long-term this is very bullish. And I think we're starting to see that the big institutions understand the plan that's in place. They know that the U.S. government needs to crush the economy enough that they can get interest rates down and switch from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing and start printing money again. We're kind of seeing both nation states and major institutions get on board with this, as just in the last, I think, month or so, there's been huge announcements. The U.S. is now up to $3 trillion in foreign direct investment, bringing in all sorts of different manufacturing and industry back to the U.S. I think it's another sign overall long-term or even medium-term. What we're seeing right now is very bullish. So if we can be patient and get through these rough times, all of these bullish catalysts are lining up to see an amazing second half of this bull run. I don't know what you guys thoughts are overall on the current administration's tactics to get the economy in line. But personally, I think this is all lining up long term very, very nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I mean, obviously, they're trying to push for, more economic stuff, making things a lot easier to do business. Um, he's been very vocal. Like the whole administration's been very vocal about pro crypto, making US the forefront of crypto. And I think that's what we're seeing right now with all these like executive orders and these big changes that are coming. So, I mean, I agree. Like for the long term, I think he is going to be good. He's pushing Powell right now to get those rate cuts, to end quantitative tightening, and start stimulating the economy again. So, we have to go through the pain first, and then once we're on the other side, it should be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Jan.
Yeah. This is lagging again. I'm so sorry. Yeah, from my side, like, there's a lot of positive news. Obviously, hopefully, this will come back as liquidity at some point, and we get a good bounce back. Okay, Mr. Nathan left.
Oh, it's okay. He'll be back.
Oh my God. Let's wait for him then.
Okay.
Has it been?
Oh, it seems like everybody left. There we go. Getting the team back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You dropped out, I believe. Jan dropped out too.
No, I'm here. When he leaves, it's just that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just lost our stream. For
okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go back to the article. I think I was starting to talk something. Has the background noise been bad?
No,
it's gone better.
There we go. And action.
Yeah, from my point of view, we had some technical problems there, but like all of these things that are happening in the US, I hope it's going to be good in the long term. Obviously, there are recession talks constantly. There are tariff talks constantly, but still, like US is getting investments, and I think further along, hopefully, that those investments come into liquidity. Obviously, like we are living in a very weird time. Robotics is coming, AI is coming. How is that gonna work in the bigger financial system? I don't know, but definitely good news. Definitely a lot of bullishness on crypto again, but yeah, we need liquidity. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's one of the things I found most interesting about this is we have with the tariffs, obviously, a lot of different governments talking pretty tough back and forth to each other. A lot of the government entities quite bearish, while meanwhile we see the private sector as bullish as ever. $3 trillion in counting. I don't know the last time we've seen that kind of a pledge for investment in U.S. infrastructure. So typically the private markets went out, but we'll see what happens. Along those same lines, I guess some more bullish stuff coming from government entities. Oklahoma passes the strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation, I believe putting them in the lead. This is a really cool site here for checking this out. But you can see bitcoinlaws.io in looking at which states in the U.S. have put forward measures around Bitcoin, including strategic Bitcoin reserves. 24 different states now have put forward a bill or a resolution to create their own strategic reserve so far. And we're seeing some serious progress being made. I think in the reserve race here, we can see Arizona actually, I think, finalizing the final step to enact their own Bitcoin reserve. Oklahoma and Texas close behind there. I think Texas is going to be a huge one to see. Texas has one of the biggest economies in the entire United States. But outside of that, you can see a lot of major states here have now pushed for it. A few here have been denied. I'd imagine, states like Wyoming, South Dakota, Pennsylvania, North Dakota, and Montana, we see a similar bill reintroduced maybe after the next round of elections in November. But really, really interesting to see not only the U.S. on a federal level creating a Bitcoin reserve, but the state level. We've been talking about creating this kind of Bitcoin arms race between nation states, the major institutions, the BlackRocks of the world, and now even a lot of U.S. states entering this game. I think all of them are just gearing up, waiting for the U.S. to announce that they're going from holding a strategic reserve to buying. And then I think it's just going to be an absolute mad race as every nation state and institution just tries to front run Uncle Sam and get as much Bitcoin as they can.
I think from my point, like, again, DCA is the best thing to do. It's just a matter of time before everyone owns BTC. And if you have one BTC, man, it's enough. I think you will be a millionaire in the future.
We're gonna see Canada start buying BTC here soon, Andrew.
Bro, they should be like mining Bitcoin, man. How cold it is up there. Just heat up the whole country mining,
Dude, absolutely. All right. And probably the other big news this week that everybody's been talking about is GameStop announcing they are going to follow the MicroStrategy program with Bitcoin, announcing that they are going to be creating a treasury reserve full of Bitcoin for GameStop. Obviously, GameStop, very, very famous, the whole Wall Street bets story there. I don't know how much of this you guys have seen, but I think they've talked about 1.3 billion is what they're going to be using for their Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Yeah, pretty wild. Like, this is like the point where I'm like, okay, are we like closer to the top or bottom at this point? like this company is supposed to be like bankrupt, like they don't do anything, and it's like all these companies are announcing now they're gonna be buying Bitcoin. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like the last resort. Well, like, what do you do? Like, you're a zombie company that is just lending out money. Like GameStop. There's nothing there anymore. It's just a meme.
It's not even a gaming company. It's like an investment company now. It's like a hedge fund.
Yeah, essentially, that's if they're taking the MicroStrategy approach to it, that's what we'll see continue to happen with them. I guess on the positive side here, GameStop has 10 times the market cap that MSTR did when they began. We could see some, if they take as an aggressive approach as Michael Saylor has with this. We could see some serious cash coming into Bitcoin here. That 1.3 billion could escalate very quickly. The markets haven't hated it. From the announcement, this was obviously a few days back, but from the announcement, they're pre-trading in the market absolutely sent the token over 10% just in a couple hours there. So I don't know. It seems like the trad markets are bullish on this strategy.
I think it was just a news pop. I think the price is actually already coming back down.
Most likely.
I would not be chasing that.
Again, it's this meme. It's again a meme stock. Like, come on.
Yeah. We are hearing a lot of rumors, though, that other major companies are getting ready to announce a Bitcoin standard as well. Rumors, speculation here from Lark Davis that it might be Facebook, Meta. I'd imagine if we start seeing these major companies, we saw Microsoft themselves inviting Saylor back in December to come pitch to their board about adopting it. They said no at the time. Do you think we see companies like Microsoft flipping their strategy here and again, kind of creating a race amongst these companies to acquire Bitcoin? I'd imagine if Microsoft and Facebook ape in, we see the likes of Google, Amazon, and some of these other major titans of industry doubling down and trying to enter the Bitcoin arms race.
Yeah, I think they've done this already. I think they've just done it through other vehicles and through other like investments. Obviously, if they have like direct exposure, it's the best way. But I'm pretty sure like Microsoft, Amazon, they already have BTC. But obviously a bullish news. And again, this is the thesis. Like, everyone will own eventually BTC. It's going to be the new gold. And here we are.
What do we got to do to get you guys excited about this today, man? Am I the only one that's uber bullish on this week? All the news coming out?
Dude, for me personally, when I see too much bullish news, I'm like, I get worried. Okay, what's on the other side of this? Like, there's something coming here.
Well, I mean, we've got Mr. Arthur Hayes, one of the King Degens from the old school era. He's bullish again, that medium to long term range, not in the immediate short term future here. They're posting about the Fed being urged to start to start bailing out companies and start printing money. Quantitative tightening has already been announced. It's coming to an end. Just a matter of when they turn on that printer. I mean, we all know what happens when Uncle Sam turns on the money printer. When do you guys see this happening timeline wise? Is this going to be something we got to wait another year for, or do you think we see quantitative easing yet in 2025?
No, man, this is gonna happen either in the summer. It's gonna be either in the summer or September. I think the economy is tanking so badly, and we have tariffs coming on. I mean, this is again just Fed being Fed. Like they're trying to fuck up Trump. They're trying to keep their position. But for me, QE is coming. They need to print money. That's my take.
It's inevitable.
And I'm bullish. I am bullish. I am bullish. Come on.
Yeah. I think definitely like probably by end of this year. I think like the longer the Feds don't, the more Trump's gonna ramp up his like tariff stuff and everything else. He's clearly trying to push them to get to that rate cut, and I think it's gonna happen. So obviously that's a very bullish thing. But I think like closer to probably like Jan said, like September, into that end of the year kind of idea.
Yeah. Fits my timeline as well. I've been saying for a bit now, but kind of bearish through till spring and then slowly creep up in the summer for an August, September blow off for this second half of the bull run here. So a couple other, I know we got to hop here in a minute. Andrew, you got another live stream, but and Michael Saylor, I thought this was interesting, staying true to his ethos of being a Bitcoin maxi and very long-term outlook. He said for a long time, you never sell your Bitcoin, and looks like he might be holding to his words coming this week on an interview. I can't remember with CoinDesk here. Excuse me. Stating he's going to burn the keys to his more than 17,000 Bitcoin upon his death. Now he'll probably have accumulated quite a bit more by then. What do you think, Jan? Andrew, you're going to be following in his footsteps and burning your.
Dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right away after this podcast.
This guy's not going to do it. I doubt he will. I don't know, man. I feel like all these investors are going to be like, yo, what the fuck? No way.
Well, I mean, the generous act on his part. Obviously, he's a billionaire, but in many other ways, this money's not going to affect his kids that much, or he doesn't have any kids. Whoever he would be inheriting this money, but it certainly will benefit the rest of us. Taking 17,000 Bitcoin out of circulation just makes all of our Bitcoin more valuable. So, props to you, Michael Saylor.
The Bitcoin.
I guess last thing, would love to get Andrew's opinion on this one. Anytime we kind of see these sideways markets and where we have all of this uncertainty, we have a lot of people that are very bearish right now. We have a lot of people that are uber bullish right now, and the longs and shorts, the perp markets are showing that massive amount of 150x leverage longs and shorts out there in the market right now. These type of setups typically lead to a very explosive Bitcoin price as we create a liquidity cascade one way or the other. So, I mean, I'm expecting whatever Bitcoin does break, whether to the upside or the downside, I think we're definitely in for a volatile move here. Now, whether that's a quick wick and that bounces back up immediately, but the market setup is right for some hot moves here. Andrew, what's your take on this? How worried should we? How tight should our buttholes be puckering right now for either a long or a short liquidation?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely have some tight ass stops. I'm pretty much on most of my positions. I moved my stops to scratch to at least lock in some profits. I'm not interested on like jumping on dips really right now because I do think like we are going to see some firework this weekend. The chart's already kind of lining up, these small ranges. We're getting close to the bottom of the range there. So I think we're going to see some explosive action, especially as we get past this weekend. Stocks will close. We'll have the PCE numbers come out, and all that will add quite a bit of volatility to the day. Yeah,
anytime we see this much potential liquidation in the market, it always I don't know, it gets me excited. I'm not a trader, so I'm not I'm just looking for good solid buys. So if we do see a liquidation cascade to the downside, I'm going to be ready to pounce and scoop up on the market. If we go to the upside, I obviously ain't going to be mad either.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you either buy in cheap or you get to sell higher. So it's the best way to kind of frame it, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're pretty much out of time here. Good 35-minute session today, gents. Any final words, any final thoughts on the market for this week?
Just be safe. Don't chase anything. Manage your risk, and hopefully you have a trading plan and trading setups.
Watch out for
You're
hyper liquid. Sorry, go ahead, Jan.
Mr. Under the Bear.
I'm pretty long. I don't know. I'm just, I'm very cautious. So
I think on the secondaries we didn't cover it today because the door is here. But if I would be you guys, I would be looking at grass, Tia. They've been getting a lot of different beats, a lot of big volume happening there. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish. I think overall DCAing is the best way, obviously. But if you guys want some riskier moves, Tia and grass would be something I would be looking at. Synthetics is another one, and bio. Bio is kind of like bottoming out, and there's been rumors about some OTC happening. So check them out. Maybe next time we go over some secondaries also. But
yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you.
Sounds good, guys.
Thank you for
We'll
this.
catch you guys soon.